Hello and welcome to my channel. Today we'll discuss the history of baseball and how it became America's favorite pastime. If you enjoy learning about diverse historical topics, please subscribe to my channel. Baseball is globally popular, with superstars emerging from various cultures. American-born stars like Aaron Judge, Latin American phenoms like Jose Altuve, and Japan's sensational two-way player, Shohei Ohtani, exemplify this. But how did this sport, throwing a ball, swinging a bat, and running bases, become so beloved? This video explores its origins and rise to prominence. Mythology surrounds baseball's creation, most notably the claim that Abner Doubleday invented it in 1839 in Cooperstown, New York. However, no evidence suggests Doubleday had any interest in baseball. This myth is widely believed to be a marketing ploy to attract visitors to the Baseball Hall of Fame in Cooperstown. Baseball evolved gradually from English sports brought by early 19th century immigrants, primarily rounders, cricket, and town ball. Versions of these games gained popularity in the 1820s. While resembling modern baseball, they featured key differences like square infields and no foul lines. Modern baseball began in New York City in 1845. The New York Knickerbockers Baseball Club established rules later adopted citywide and across the Northeast. These included a diamond-shaped infield, 3 strikes for an out, 3 outs per inning, forced outs, and foul lines. The game spread rapidly during the U.S. Civil War of 1861 to 1865 as a popular pastime among Union soldiers. By the mid-19th century, match play was being taken more seriously and was more formal, paving the way towards the establishment of professional baseball. The National Association of Baseball Players, also known as the NA, formed in 1857. It held annual winter meetings to standardize rules for matches between clubs. The NA established the 9-inning game length. An early notable matchup occurred in 1858 when 9 elite Manhattan players faced 9 players from Brooklyn, a rivalry between then separate cities. This foreshadowed the modern MLB All-Star Game. A critical step towards baseball being professionalized occurred on July 19, 1860. Fans paid to watch the Excelsior versus Atlantic baseball clubs, a pivotal moment, as the prior matches were free and players unpaid. This set a precedent for an admissions fee to be charged in order to attend a game. Newspapers began publishing box scores around this time, listing players, hits, pitches, and scores. This allowed fans to follow clubs remotely, which allowed for fandom of ball clubs to become more widespread as ordinary people could track their favorite team. The first professional baseball club, the Cincinnati Red Stockings, formed under the NA in 1869. Extreme competitiveness of baseball clubs in the 1850s and 1860s drove clubs to pay players in order to attract top talent. However, professional baseball was very disorganized from 1869 to 1876. Key issues included clubs forfeiting late-season games after elimination and players switching teams mid-season for higher pay, as there was no such thing as player contracts yet. This led to the better organized National League in 1876. The National League, also known as the NL, introduced player contracts to prevent mid-season moves and mandated teams play full seasons, expelling non-compliant clubs. The NL launched 8 clubs. 2 survive today: the Chicago White Stockings, now Cubs, and the Boston Red Stockings, now Atlanta Braves. The NL's efficiency caused the NA to fold. The Braves and Cubs originated in the NA before leaving it for the newly launched National League in 1876. In the late 19th century, rival leagues challenged the National League, notably the American Association, founded in 1882. The American Association distinguished itself by placing teams in National League absent cities and selling alcohol at games. From 1884 to 1892, the National League and American Association champions faced off in a post-season series, a precursor to the World Series. These ranged from best-of-3 to best-of-15 formats. The NL was dominant in these, winning 7 of the 8 pre-modern World Series matchups. Several existing clubs originated in the AA before joining the NL, including the Dodgers, Reds, and Cardinals. By 1900, professional baseball's popularity waned due to perennially uncompetitive teams and the NL's declining reputation due to player and fan misconduct. An extreme example of this misconduct occurred on May 15, 1894, when an on-field brawl between the Boston Bean Eaters and Baltimore Orioles escalated. Fans ignited peanut bags, and high winds spread flames, destroying Boston's South End grounds and damaging 100 nearby buildings. Though an extreme example, violence was common in the late 19th century NL. The NL's decline created an opening for a competitor, the American League, also known as the AL, founded in 1901. The American League differentiated itself by enforcing strict player and fan conduct codes, improving its image. It also set player minimum salaries, luring talent from the NL, which had exploited its monopoly it had enjoyed following the collapse of the American Association to underpay players. The AL gained rapid legitimacy. By 1903, it rivaled the NL, and the leagues agreed to an annual championship series, reviving the previous model that existed a decade earlier. The American League won the first modern World Series as the Boston Americans, now known as the Red Sox, defeated the Pittsburgh Pirates. This series continues annually today with 120 World Series having been played to date since 1903. The AL's 1901 founding and the 1903 World Series birthed baseball's modern era. While baseball in the mid to late 19th century was actually extremely high-scoring, pitchers and defenses vastly improved and offense was heavily stalled by the turn of the century. The early days of the modern era, 1901 to about 1920, is dubbed the dead ball era, characterized by low scoring and few home runs due to cavernous ballparks that could be as deep as 600 feet. Tigers legend Ty Cobb led the league with just 9 home runs in 1909. The vast majority of home runs at the time were inside the park home runs, not balls hit over the fences. The era's most infamous event was the 1919 Black Sox scandal, where 8 Chicago White Sox players intentionally lost the World Series to the Cincinnati Reds for gamblers' payoffs. This temporarily devastated the sport's reputation and was only revived due to the excitement of a new trend in the sport, the home run. 1920 marked the dead ball era's end, coinciding with bans on spitballs and ball tampering, plus smaller ballparks. Babe Ruth symbolized this shift, smashing 54 home runs in 1920. His playing style and the Yankees' rise defined a new era. The next 30 to 40 years following Babe Ruth's rise are often called baseball's golden era, featuring icons like Babe Ruth himself, Lou Gehrig, Stan Musial, Joe DiMaggio, and Ted Williams. During this time, there was also a league of very talented players outside the National League and American League, the Negro League. While the major leagues excluded black players, African American athletes formed their own professional circuits. The Negro National League, established by Rube Foster in 1920, became the most prominent. These leagues showcased extraordinary talent barred from the majors due to segregation. This talent included legendary pitcher Satchel Paige, often called the greatest ever. Paige dominated hitters with his pinpoint control and showmanship. Catcher Josh Gibson, known as the Black Babe Ruth, hit colossal home runs and was considered one of the game's most feared sluggers. The Negro Leagues thrived for decades, proving black players belonged at the highest level and paving the way for integration. Jackie Robinson and Willie Mays were some of the most well-known stars amongst the first African-American players in the integrated major leagues. While baseball segregation and integration merits its own video, note that Black Americans' World War II contributions fueled demand for integration across the board in American society. Robinson broke the color barrier in 1947, followed gradually by others. Baseball mirrored broader U.S. culture as integration aligned with the civil rights movement. The 1950s and 1960s saw expansion and relocation of ball clubs. Soaring Western populations, especially California, led the New York Giants and Brooklyn Dodgers to controversially move to San Francisco and Los Angeles, becoming the first West Coast teams in 1957. This spurred further Western expansion. The Los Angeles Angels were founded in 1961. The San Diego Padres were founded in 1969. The Athletics relocated to Oakland in 1968, and Seattle Mariners were created in 1977. Major League Baseball also expanded southward. The Braves moved to Atlanta. The Houston Astros were created in 1962, and the Texas Rangers were established in Dallas in 1972. Canada even joined professional baseball with the Montreal Expos, founded in 1969, and Toronto Blue Jays, founded in 1977. The 1960s network television transformed baseball into a remote viewing experience, later driving revenue via TV contracts. The sport now thrives globally, especially in Latin America, Japan, and South Korea. In the 21st century, the sport has been transformed by analytics, first coming to prominence with Billy Beane's Moneyball strategy, and now it is a critical part of the sport. As mentioned at the beginning of the video, Major League Baseball has become multicultural, with stars in the league coming from all over the world. Current-day baseball has its own unique challenges that players, coaches, and owners will need to resolve. How will MLB adjust to the transition from cable TV to streaming platforms? How will baseball reckon with the revenue inequality between the largest and smallest market teams? Will they implement a salary cap and floor to level the playing field? How will the game change as pitchers increasingly suffer major arm injuries? I would like to thank everyone who watched the entire video. If you enjoy learning about the history of a variety of subjects, please subscribe to my channel. I plan to keep making more videos about the history of sports, cultures, wars, people, and many other things.